Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have leaks, we have news, we have Call of Duty coping with the success of the Battlefield 6 beta, and then of course we have Season 5, man. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Call of Duty is a dumpster fire right now. Nothing is going right with that franchise. Activision seems to just keep doubling down, but at least according to TheGhostOfHope, they're making even more changes to Black Ops 7 following the popularity of Battlefield 6. Do you guys remember last week when Battlefield announced that they were going to have this secured boot level anti-cheat, and then a few days later Activision's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for Black Ops 7. Well, yesterday TheGhostOfHope has revealed that his sources are telling him that a build of Black Ops 7 is being tested right now without tactical sprint being a feature. There's also talk that Black Ops 7 will bring back looping score streaks, and this is the kind of stuff we've been talking about, man. Like, Call of Duty has been able to put out garbage for years because there was never any alternative. You know, some games will come out here or there, but there were never any real competitors to the COD franchise. But now that Battlefield is blowing up, suddenly they're making changes. I mean, suddenly they're out here testing out features and changes that the community have been wanting for years, and it's all thanks to Vince Zampella and Battlefield 6. Now, when it comes to the gameplay of this video, I did have the unfortunate responsibility to sign into Black Ops 6 and record footage of the new season. I told you guys I would do it just to make fun of the game, essentially, and I can't begin to explain just how terrible the experience was. Like, the game is such a far cry from where Call of Duty used to be and where Call of Duty should be. I mean, even in the main menu, it tells you all you need to know. All of the promoted modes are just small map brain rot, man, and thanks to skill-based matchmaking, your time to match is insanely long. I mean, look at this, man. To find a match of the new map Mosh Pit, it took like 2 minutes before I was finally actually able to play the game. Queuing in the Battlefield 6 beta was nearly instant at times. I mean, there were also some times where the queues were a bit longer, but I think that's because the servers were completely overwhelmed with the millions of people all trying to play the game at once. I mean, even with the Battlefield 6 beta being down, they still have thousands of people in the game right now just messing with their menus. The firing range isn't even available or anything like that. Like, people are actually in there just listening to the background music and adjusting their settings. Like, that's how much people love that game, and that's how much they miss it. And then you look at COD, I mean, they can't pay people to play that game right now. And also, in Call of Duty, you are waiting for a much worse gameplay experience, and that's just straight up by design. I mean, skill-based matchmaking is there to help protect bad players and thus push bundles, and as a result of that, you're stuck in the queue even longer, which gives you more time to just look at the battle passes and look at the shop, both of which have those nifty little icons next to them. And then once you're finally into the game, everybody plays like an exact clone of yourself because matchmaking is that thick. The only difference between you and them is these people are the ones out here blowing $30 on American Dad and Ninja Turtles and the Black Cell skins. Like, seriously, I felt like after playing Battlefield 6 and going back to COD, I felt like I was playing Barbie's freaking Dreamhouse dress up here. Like, everybody on every team, my team, the other team, whatever, they were all rocking $20 to $30 skins. It was freaking mind-blowing, and that's why COD keeps getting worse. I made it about 2.5 matches before I shut down the game, and I don't think there's ever going to be a reason for me to boot up Black Ops 6 ever again. I mean, the new stuff, the new season, right? WMD looks like trash. It's a freaking remake, and they couldn't even get that right. The airplane map is hot garbage, and then the third map is face-off brain rot, which is pretty much what Call of Duty has become. I mean, the maps are the size of a living room, there's cartoon characters butt sliding on the ground, and the icing on top is you have to wait like 5 minutes just to get into the match and experience all of that, man. It's depressing. It really is. Like, Call of Duty is a straight up dumpster fire. What happened to the franchise that we all grew up on? What happened to the franchise that we love? But don't worry, guys. Activision says they're too big to fail, and they're already back with marketing for the next game. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So as with every Black Ops game and Treyarch game in general, there has to be some form of cryptic marketing campaign. I'm not sure about you guys, but this stuff wore thin with me years ago, back during the whole Pawn Takes Pawn campaign. It's essentially just them putting out the most cryptic stuff possible, mostly stuff for data miners and zombies YouTubers to decipher, and it always boils down to literally nothing. You'll sit through like an entire 2-week-long marketing campaign, and the big payoff at the end will be like, there's a mission in the campaign in Washington, D.C. Can you guys believe it? Like, it's such a waste of time energy and resources. I think Bob Network UK said it best yesterday on Twitter when he said that Treyarch needs to market with actual gameplay instead of LARPing around as a fake tech company, but here we are. This is marketing in 2025, I suppose. Just make a fake website and have people go to it and every day update it with a little bit more. Just, I don't know, man. But my suspicion this time around is I think they always planned for this marketing campaign the entire time. They do this every time a Black Ops game comes out, but I feel like they are going to be more heavily leaning on it this time around because they refuse to show gameplay. And I think that's because they are too busy scrambling to change the game now that Battlefield is in a prime position to dethrone COD this year. I feel like they're going back to the drawing board with a lot of different aspects of Black Ops 7 because while they thought they could just coast and essentially make it Black Ops 6.5, they're realizing now, even though they feel like they're too big to fail, they're realizing now that they are in serious trouble because of Battlefield, man. They're saying that they're too big to fail, but even they don't believe that right now, man. Like, Battlefield is blowing up like crazy. There's also a really interesting piece of information that we got from looking at the dates of the websites. So for Black Ops 6, we had The Truth Lies, right? You guys might remember that. And then Black Ops 7, we have The Guild. Well, wouldn't you guys know it, but it turns out the Guild website was made 1 year before the Truth Lies website, which is leading to a lot of theories. Why is the Black Ops 7 website older than the Black Ops 6 website? The theory that's going around the community right now is, what if Black Ops 7 was always the main game and Black Ops 6 was rushed out as a filler game in between? It really does make a lot of sense if you look at the multiplayer maps, man. I mean, half of them are just set on Avalon. That's the reason why these maps are so bland and boring. They're just Warzone POIs that were ripped into multiplayer. We also have the launch maps of the game, arguably some of the worst launch maps that we've ever seen in Call of Duty history. I think people forget that because they've gotten kind of used to how bad the maps are. But yeah, going from Modern Warfare 3 into Black Ops 6, the map design was like, what are they thinking here? Like, Treyarch? Like, the Treyarch made these maps? You couldn't believe it. They were so freaking bad. You then have the super heavy reliance on small maps and face-off, and most of the post-launch weapons are just rehashes from older games. I mean, hell, they even threw in Verdansk just to pad out content, and they dedicated an entire season to bringing back guns from Modern Warfare 2019 in a game that is set in 1991. I mean, how does that make any sense? So it may be a bit of a stretch, but Black Ops 6 may very well have been a filler game that they threw together. You then think about the other stuff, man, even some of the good stuff like the prestige rewards, right? Maybe that system was already set up and in place for Black Ops 7, so they just threw it into Black Ops 6. You then look at Treyarch's timeline. These guys have been stretched thin over the years. Activision has them working on absolutely everything, and then you look at the post-launch of Black Ops 6 in general. For me personally, and I know for a fact a lot of you guys agree, but some of you guys may disagree, and that's cool, but for me, the game doesn't look, feel, or play like a Black Ops game. If you told me that Black Ops 6 was made by an entirely separate studio, I would absolutely believe you, because we have so many crossovers, so many shop bundles, there's so very little in this game that truly vibes Black Ops to me. It does feel a bit like a filler game. It feels like a cash grab. It feels like a storefront with a multiplayer mode attached to it. I guess we'll never know for sure exactly what was going on behind the scenes, but those dates are very interesting. Regardless, they are going to keep pushing out more stuff about this guild over on their website, and in exactly 1 week's time, they have to reveal the multiplayer. I could honestly see them delaying it, like that is definitely a possibility, but if they do reveal the multiplayer on August 19th, it is going to be freaking insane. I cannot wait for it, man, and it's not so much because I'm stoked for the game, it's because that reveal is going to make it abundantly clear that Black Ops 7 is being rushed together with duct tape and super glue, and the entire time the chat is going to be spamming that Battlefield is better. It is going to be such a good time. It is going to be peak cinema, and I have a feeling that Orville Redenbacher stocks are going to go through the roof during that reveal event. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next couple of weeks are going to be wild. We have 2 more sleeps until we can finally play Battlefield 6 again, and then, of course, Activision is going to have to roll the corpse of Treyarch on stage to talk about Black Ops 7 in 1 week's time. When it comes to Battlefield, I have not been this excited for a video game in a very long time. I mean, this past weekend alone, I put 33 hours into the beta, and I was playing this game basically like it was a 9 to 5. And I get that I'm a YouTuber, but I was having a blast the entire time. I mean, beta bugs aside, the game is so enjoyable, and it's only in beta. Like, imagine how much better this game is going to be once it's completely out. I know that Battlefield is known for having rough launches, but the launch of the beta anyway was fantastic. There were some bugs, some issues, people get on top of rooftops and whatever, but it was still really freaking good. And during the full launch of the game, instead of having 3 maps, we're going to have 9. Instead of having, Conquest and Breakthrough, we're going to have Rush and every other game mode as well. When we level up, it's going to count. When we get new attachments, it's going to count. When we get camos or ribbons or take people's dog tags, all of that that is going to count as well. One of my favorite things about Battlefield back in the day was how long it took to level up. It felt so rewarding, right? And that sense of progression was just so good. It was really enjoyable, and I'm sure there's going to be plenty of other stuff to do with the full multiplayer and the campaign and Portal and then the Battle Royale. And I've intentionally not talked too much about the Battle Royale so far here because I'm really not a BR fan. Like, I love Battlefield. I'm really enjoying the beta, and I can't wait for the full launch of the game. But I suppose I'll give the BR mode a chance. But at this stage in my life, I am so burnt out on every game having to have a BR. You know, I understand why studios have to do it, but I'm also just really burnt out on it. I just hope that resources going into the Battlefield BR are not going to take away from the Battlefield multiplayer. And based on what we tried out so far during the beta, it seems like we're going to be okay. It seems like it's going to be its own separate thing with its own separate devs and everything. And hopefully that's true, because right now I'm still waiting on the catch. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of you guys out there are waiting on this as well. Everything about Battlefield 6, at least right now, seems too good to be true. And maybe that's because we're just used to Call of Duty always screwing us over at every possible point. I don't know. It's so refreshing to play a grounded shooter game, a freaking military game that's focused on teamwork, gun skill, and objective play. It's like everything I wanted in a game, and it's just all right here, and it seems too good to be true. I've even seen people saying that these small team game modes like Domination and King of the Hill, which is basically just Hardpoint, I've seen people saying that that is exactly what they wish Call of Duty would be like, and I agree. Like, I do feel like there is room for both in this world. I think that ideally Call of Duty and Battlefield can coexist and both games get better as a result. I mean, ideally, Call of Duty remains that fast-paced arcade shooter the way it was always meant to be. You know, picture a game like Black Ops 2, for example, as compared to the garbage that we have with Black Ops 6. And then on the flip side, Battlefield can just remain Battlefield. But the problem is, Activision has lost the plot so much that Call of Duty as we knew it is essentially dead, man. It's on the way out, and I'm going to wrap the video up with this. Vince Zampella basically created the Call of Duty franchise. He made the original COD games all the way up to COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2, and now he is heading Battlefield as Call of Duty is falling apart. It's pretty much a perfect example of Vince Zampella telling Activision, I brought you into this world, and now I'm gonna take you out. And as always, I cannot wait to see all of this unfold. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback on today's news and leaks down there in the comments. Be sure to sub if you're new around here. Thank you all so much for listening, and until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.